Hey guys, it's Gameface here and welcome back to episode 9 of my Leeds United career mode. Now in today's episode we've got some more games to get through. It'll be mainly, I think, league games in this episode. I'm pretty sure of that. The first of which, as you can see, is against Burton. Then as we go through next month into November, we should get through all 3 of these matches because I think we're simming the game against Burton. So we'll get to the Norwich game, obviously a big match, that one along with the Newcastle game. And we've got a Rotherham match as well, I think, to finish off this episode. So like I say, we will be simming this first match against Burton, the bottom of the league. They've got 1 win, so they really should be quite an easy team to get past. We will play with a strong side though, because the next game against Norwich is still in a week's time, so there's plenty of time to recover in between. Before we get into things though, if we could go ahead and hit 25 likes on this episode, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I would really appreciate you supporting this series. The Leeds United career mode is what you guys voted for. I think it was the second most voted when I did the vote originally. So if you could hit 25 likes, that would be absolutely fantastic. Let's crack on with the game. The side I will go with, I will show you now just as I'm about to sim it. Green, Eiley, Jansen, Bartley, Taylor, O'Kane, Bridcut, Barrow, Dallas, Hernandez and Fletcher up front. So no huge changes there, kind of the expected lineup I've been going with quite a few times. Burton on the other hand are going to play 5-3-2. That's going to be a difficult one for us to break down, I imagine. But Fletcher's actually scored 13 minutes in, so that's a good start for us. Into the 30th minute now, we've managed to get ourselves in the lead. We definitely need that goal at home. Into the second half, still winning the game 1-0. Roof comes on, Barrow comes off. They've just brought Flanagan on. I'm assuming, is that the right back? Flanagan? It can't be. He's at Burnley, isn't he, or something? Hernandez scores on the penalty spot, though, 2-0. And that is a red card for one of the Burton players. I think he's on loan from Leicester. And that is it. We've won the game 2-0. So a decent 3 points there for us. We are now still 5th place. We are currently on the same amount of points as Norwich. 1 behind Wolves, 2 behind Aston Villa, and I think about 4 behind Newcastle in first. So we're in a decent position still to try and get in the playoffs. So we're obviously in the playoffs, but we've got to try and maintain that if we can. These are the 5 drills I'll go with this week. Hopefully get some of them going up. Need Barrow to start going up a little bit quicker. We have Anderson there going up on all 4 attributes. Vieira goes up to 65 overall. Quite a decent week for those 2. The other players are pretty much staying the same. Okay, monthly scouting update. I'm going to take this opportunity actually to promote some players, which is something I've not really done, I don't think, on this career so far. But we're going to start to get in some young talent, hopefully from the youth academy, which is something that Leeds like to do a lot of the time. I'm going to try and get in this Scottish guy, Angus Wilson, centre attacking mid, 62 overall. We're going to offer him, I think, a 3-year deal. We'll just go with that, and a future first team player. We'll offer him slightly more than what he was after. And then we'll also sign up whilst we're here Robert Anderson. Now, originally I was going to keep him in the youth academy because apparently it's supposed to train them up a little bit easier or something like that. But we will promote him, I just think, now anyway. He's got a potential between 84 and 94, so imagine him and Jansen at the back. If we do sign Jansen permanently, that'd be absolutely fantastic for us. And we also could do with another centre-back from time to time, so we're going to do that. I think all the other players, though, are pretty much just going to stay in here, I think. We've got some decent-looking players, some potentials there into the 90s, or well into the 90s, for the case of a couple. But yeah, let's crack on with the next game now. It's against Norwich, and it's an away game, I think. And there we have it. Anderson has accepted just before this game against Norwich. We don't have the other guy coming in, though, Angus, yet. He has not accepted the contract just yet. We'll have to wait and see after this match. Let's change around the team. I don't think there's actually too many changes to make, to be honest. Fletcher's gone up to 68 overall now. But I think we'll pretty much just go with the exact same side, I think, there. Don't really need to make too many changes. Maybe just bring in Berardi, give him a bit of a go at right back. Then take off Coyle and put... I think we'll go with Eiling. It'll go onto the bench as well. I don't think we'll get anybody else into the side. That's going to be the bench that we've gone with. 3 strikers on there if we need them. Obviously, Roof can play out wide. But we'll just go with the exact same side pretty much for this game. A win here would take us above Norwich, so it's a very important match for us. We need to get ourselves the 3 points because it obviously would help us massively in the race to stay in the playoffs and trying to overtake one of our rivals as well. So let's find out how we get on. It's going to be a very tough match this one, I'd imagine. Okay, here we go. We are at Carrow Road for this game. We have got kick-off. We need to get ourselves underway and onto a good start if we can as well. We need to make sure we're picking up the results. We've had probably too many draws for my liking. That's the reason why we're not a little bit further up in the league table. We've had 5 draws so far and not enough wins. We've only had 7 wins compared to Newcastle, who've had 10. Good start here from Norwich, having a good spell of possession. Good chance, it's the bar and goes over. A really good chance there. Robbie Brady in the middle with the header. Unlike him to find him in that himself in that position. But we need to kind of just brighten up a little bit at the moment. We've kind of been a little bit down. We've been second to every ball, basically. Just need to win back possession a little bit quicker. Bridcut going to look for Fletcher. It's our first chance of the game here. Fletcher to shoot. It's a good block. Not good having our first shot 32 minutes in. That is not a great way to open up this game. We have been very slow to get started. I think what we'll do is just put the ball straight in here. Pablo Hernandez is going to pick out Bartley if he can over his head. That's disappointing again. We're getting completely outdone here by Norwich. It's not looking great. We're going to be restricted to very few chances. And obviously they're a good team, but you've got to make chances no matter who you're playing against in the Championship. Usually you can beat any sort of team in the Championship. Obviously you won't win every game, but any team can beat each other. And really, this has not been the case at all. We've been such a terrible side in this first half. That's it. That's 0-0 at half-time now. We just look a bit dead, really. That's the only way I can describe it. We do look a little bit dead in the team in general. Just looks so sloppy, so poor. And it's very much lacking energy. We need to increase the energy a little bit. There's very little happening in that midfield at all, so we're going to change things around here at half-time. Okay, all 3 changes. Very rare that I make all 3 changes, so you know how bad it has been. We're going to bring Smith, Antonsen and Roof on. O'Kane, Hernandez and Dallas all come off, all of which are very, obviously, the slower players that we've got in the side, let's put it that way. Not very slow, but slower. So we've done those changes. Obviously not particularly realistic to make all 3 at half-time. I apologise about that. But you've got to understand that was a very frustrating first half with very few chances to score from. Fletcher through to Roof. Great chance for us here to get forward. Roof going to cut it back. Oh, couldn't get the pass to Bridcut. We've been much better in the second half so far. We've not really had that many chances, but going forward we've looked so much more lively. And Norwich haven't had any chances themselves so far, so that's a positive for us as well. Just need to try and get a goal if we can. Stupid decision. Stupid decision. That might even be a red as well. Yeah, Carl Bartley sent off. 12 minutes to go. They barely done anything here, Norwich, and I've just bottled it there. Really poor. So disappointing. He wasn't going to get through because Rob Green had saved it, but I've just basically panicked and slid Bernard. Is it Bernard? Was it? I think that Norwich have got there. So frustrating. For some reason they're the one making the change, not me, because obviously we can't. It's going to be Whittaker to step up. Of course, he puts it virtually down the middle. And they win the game 1-0 with 12 minutes left. That is such a Leeds thing to happen. We're going to stick with 3 at the back. Fletcher off the bar. Antonsen's going to go up there. That's our best chance of the game, and it's come with 9 minutes left. Bridcut still going. Going to look to cut it back into the box. Antonsen's up there. It's going to be a corner, surely. Last chance to fire it in. We need to pick out Janssen if we can. Barrow will take it. It's not going to find anybody, I don't think. Antonsen up there. Oh, no. Our reflexes were quick enough to press B, but it just didn't happen. We didn't manage to head it in the back of the net. I think we should play with 10 men more often. That's it. Lost the game 1-0. Ironically, our best football came when we had 10 men on the pitch. Really bizarre, but that's the case. We've lost the game 1-0, sadly, down to a really poor decision from me, so apologies about that. But yeah, Carl Bartley now misses the next game. Is it the next game or next 2 games? I always forget how it works with suspensions. But yeah, that will basically leave us with Cooper at the back, which is fine, obviously. They're both the same overall, I believe. So be Cooper and Janssen at the back for the next match against Newcastle, I think it is. Oh, that's not gone down well with the ball. Manager rating has gone down to 65 now. I think that's a little bit harsh. It is a good side that we've come up against. Yes, we've lost, and they're very close to us in the league table. Would have been a good chance to get above them, but it hasn't happened. Our target is still to get, obviously, in the playoffs, so, you know, we're not far off it. We're actually on target at the moment. And Angus Wilson here, accepting the contract, he joins our squad. We've got Carl Bartley out for a match. Some monthly scouting updates to do. Let's start off with the Swedish players. We'll certainly be signing him up. Where is, what position's he? I'm not really too sure, but we'll sign him up definitely. Get rid of a couple of these. Definitely sign him up. He looks fantastic. And same with that. But I'm going to have to kick some people out before I can get him in. Okay, let's sign him up. We don't have too many more spaces now to fill. And that's going to be filled pretty quickly by Rory, was it, I think? Can't really get anybody else in. They've got Logan still. Want to try and get in another Rory, and we'll get rid of Lucas. There's a lot of different players here. I can't fit them all in, so we'll just continue to scout those 2 for now. Now it's down to the English players. Taylor Lewis comes in. Well, he would anyway if we could sign him up. We'll definitely be keeping him or scouting for another month. Taylor Lewis. We need some more good English players. It's always the English players that seem to be the worst out of the scouting updates I get. Only getting 1 player. Hopefully we can get him in the next couple of months though. Apparently it's gone down because I'm below target, but I mean, how am I supposed to increase the club worth by 100% when it's a 3-season target? I'm fighting for promotion, quite clearly I'm 5th place still. And obviously the youth one, that's going to take a little bit of time, at 30% there. So I think dropping me down to a 65 rating is a little bit harsh on me, to be honest. We are still 5th in the league. Obviously it makes things a little bit more difficult for us. And we'll continue the exact same 5 drills again this week, try and get players going up. I think that might be the last time I do that though with those players, other than Peacock Farrell, who's very close to 69 overall. Certainly starting to catch up with Silvestri now, making a case for the second choice goalkeeper. But that leaves us not actually in a bad position, to be fair. I mean, I know we're obviously now 3 points behind Norwich, but if you look at things, we are still 5th. We're 1 point behind Wolves. We're obviously 3 points behind Norwich, and we're now 5 points behind Aston Villa and 10 points behind Newcastle. So that is obviously a little bit larger than I thought. The points behind Newcastle, but we can still catch up. We're obviously not aiming to win the league. That's not the expectation. This is trying to be a realistic career mode, and realistically, I don't think Leeds could win the league with this team that we've currently got. So I think certainly a good start is trying to get promotion, and we're currently in that position. Also, we're not too far off January now, so I need to start looking at some new players. We've obviously heard from Pablo Hernandez about wanting to leave the club, along with Charlie Taylor, so I'm looking for a new centre attacking mid. I've already looked at left backs previously. These are the 2 centre attacking mids I'm looking at. Leonardo da Silva Lopez, I think, can play as a centre attacking mid, so that's the reason why I'm looking at him. He looks really good. Potential-wise, I believe, is quite high as well. And Marcus Edwards from Tottenham's another one, along with Onoma as well. Maybe a less realistic one. Not too much chance, I don't think, of Leeds getting him. Maybe on loan, but certainly I don't think Tottenham would want to let him go in real life. So let me know your thoughts about them in the comments below. That would be appreciated. I've actually gone down further now. I haven't done anything. I've gone down to 64. Okay, a couple of changes to the play drills this week. We brought in Calvin Phillips, and that is basically it, just taken out. Was it Vieira, and I can't remember the other players, Alex Mowatt, I think. So yeah, we've done that. Hopefully get some of the youngsters going up. We're going to have the some of the youngsters that we promoted from the Youth Academy. I'll start to include these in the player drills. We've got Anderson there, who's one of them that's been promoted, going up to 64 overall. Can't forget Bailey Peacock Farrell there, going up to 69. He's nearly halfway to 70, so he's doing very, very well in terms of getting up to those sort of overalls to compete with our first and second choice keeper. So we're doing pretty well on that front. I'm very happy with that. So let's crack on though with the next game now. Okay, this is the team I've gone with to play against Newcastle. We've got Green starting in goal. Eiling comes in at right back. Janssen plays alongside Cooper. Taylor at left back. Then we've got Bridcut and Smith playing in midfield. Dallas returns as the left mid. We've got Barrett on the right hand side with Antonsen in behind Chris Wood. So gone with Chris Wood, a little bit risky. Previously I have kind of said that he's not been great from starting him in game. He's quite good off the bench, but I think we need to start him occasionally. We've kind of got no choice. Fletcher comes out of the team due to a little bit of a bad spell, not scoring in the last couple of games. Hernandez also comes onto the bench as well. Anderson is another player that gets on there purely because we don't have any other centre-backs that are really good enough to choose from. Also got McKay, but ideally I want to try and develop Anderson. So another tough game. This time we are at home for it. Obviously Newcastle's team are far superior to ours down to the amount of money that they've spent and the amount of Premier League players that they've got in this side. So it's going to be another really, really difficult game. It really will be, especially, you know, after playing Norwich as well. Having Norwich then Newcastle, it's going to be tough for us. We're going to have to deal with it somehow. I'm just hoping that we don't kind of collapse and hopefully I don't do the exact same thing I did against Norwich in giving away a penalty. It's an interesting start actually from Newcastle. I know we're only a couple of minutes in, but they've certainly not really tried to press us too much. I thought they'd be going for a more attacking sort of start to this game, but they've really just been quite happy to give us the ball and kind of let us come on to them a little bit. We're going to have a chance here to shoot, hopefully, with Barrow, but just can't quite tuck inside enough. Dagugara looking to pick out Stuart Dallas. He's looked a little bit sloppy on the ball, Stuart Dallas, so far in this half. Need to try and get him performing a little bit better, otherwise when Saka comes back, he'll certainly be out of the team. We need Chris Wood in there. I've told him, I've given him the instruction to go central and basically play as the target man, and he's still not getting in the box enough. That's it, half-time, 0-0. I mean, I think it's kind of been pretty even, to be honest. Newcastle haven't had loads of chances. Well, we've had more than 0 shots, so that's a lot of rubbish. But yeah, I think it's been pretty even. I think we've both had a few shots each. But yeah, we'll wait and see how the second half goes. We'll keep the team the same, obviously just with that one change with Danny Ruggiero coming on about 20 minutes in. Chance, Perez to shoot, scores. Easy as that. Only a few minutes in. It's really just poor. I mean, that's what the defence is doing. They don't stay with him. They just stay still. And Perez is able to score really easily. Such a simple goal there from Newcastle. We can't concede like that. Really poor stuff. And yeah, it's a very simple one. He's just taking it into feet. Richie just coming inside, takes it into feet. Okay, no one's in the defence. and just turns and shoots, scores 1-0. Final 2 changes, Fletcher and Roof will come on. Well, that means we'll take off Dallas and Chris Wood. Not worked with Chris Wood at all, sadly. I mean, I know how I want to play with him. He just won't play that way. He won't get in the box and let me get crosses in. He's just every single time trying to pull out wide, despite me always telling him to get central, which is so frustrating. But yeah, that's just the case. So sadly, he's going to have to go off. Stuart Dallas has been pretty poor today as well, so he's going off for that. It's going to be 2-0 at this rate. Rob Green saves twice. First one's a poor save, but he does do well with the second one. Out for a corner, about time. Okay, no, not out for a corner. We'll take the goal kick then. Yeah, about time we can make the changes. Yep, 2-0. Oh, he's offside. He's offside. Oh, it's actually gone our way. John Joe Shelby, offside there. To be fair, I didn't think it was at first glance, but obviously it happened fairly quickly. Yeah, we're not going to get a goal back, it's pretty clear. We are just absolutely shocking in this game. But that is kind of the difference in the teams. This is a Premier League side we're going up against. Whether you like it or not, it is a Premier League side. So I know obviously Leeds are as a club, but the players we've got are not Premier League players. Or at least not many of them anyway. So we do need to try and make improvements. That's the only problem though. If I make loads of improvements, it doesn't really become a Leeds team anymore. It become a whole different sort of team. So, you know, we will end up losing games like this during this career mode. You know, that's kind of inevitable with us having not one of the greatest teams in the Championship. So, you know, we're going to have to improve it in places, but obviously I want to try and keep some players to make it still a Leeds career mode. That's it, we've lost the game 1-0. At the end of the day, you know, this is a team that are going to qualify, that are going to get promoted automatically. We're trying to go through in the playoffs and hope that that works out for us. So it's not going to determine our season, I don't think, losing to a team that are going to get automatically promoted. The fact that we've had one shot and one on target according to their stats, which are a load of rubbish, is a little bit worrying. But yeah, we'll wait and see from the next few games what happens. But yeah, obviously, like I say, I don't think those sort of games are going to determine our season at all. Ideally, you want to pick up a point or something against those sort of bigger sides that are clearly going to get promoted. But that doesn't leave us in a great position. We are still in the playoffs. We're just starting to, you know, get a bit of a gap between us and the teams above us in the playoffs, which is a bit disappointing. So we need to make sure we can hold on to win the playoff places. We're still 2 points ahead of 7th QPR, so we're not doing dreadful. Obviously, those last 2 losses are not going to help us out. Corey Smith is out for 3 weeks with a sprained ankle, and the suspension of Cal Barkley is over. Antonsen, I thought there was a lot of players that had really bad matches. We need to take a look at the system that we're playing with. I want to play the same system that Gary Monk's trying to play with a lot of the time, which is, I think, the same one that I'm playing with currently. But it's not been working those last 2 matches against the bigger teams. That really hasn't worked. Maybe we need to be a little bit more tactical about it rather than keeping the realism in things. So maybe I'll go for like a 4-1-4-1. Quite like that formation. We'll take a look at that though in the next episode. That will be everything for this episode. We won't have time to fit in the Rotherham match. We'll hopefully get that one in, or we will get that one in the next episode. So yeah, we'll wait and see how that one goes when it comes. So that is everything for now. Thank you all so much for watching. If we could go ahead and hit 25 likes on this video, that would be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. That will be absolutely fantastic. Especially if you've got to this stage of the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. That is everything for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.